Welcome back, Goblin Chefs. It's AP Gains. Today we are going to be reviewing Josie Wales' roster. He is the spiritual but practical number one player in the game right now, and a lot of people are wondering what the number one account looks like because CG has not given us a way to actually review rosters. Before we look at his entire roster, as you see here, he's got some pretty hefty characters up at the top. This is a man who has 47 of 47 characters unlocked, which means he was dabbling in a little bit of the money, if you guys can imagine being the number one player. And before we look at the rest of it, we're actually, we obviously have like a small little focus group that's kind of discovering best farming guides and stuff like that. But if you guys want roster reviews for your HOM-E account or Galaxy of Heroes account, if you do that as well, or just want to be a part of all of this testing that we're doing, trying to figure out the optimal path to be successful as a free-to-play player, the Patreon is the place to be. We're going to set up a bunch of new rooms in the Patreon exclusive Discord. So if you guys want to be a part of that, join the Patreon. And then you have to link your Patreon with your Discord, I believe, and you should automatically get access to the exclusive Discord where I'm going to be setting up some rooms so we can do some testing, do some reviews, and all that sort of good stuff. It's going to be the number one place in the entire community to make sure that you're maximizing your roster. Obviously, you'll get, 75% of that information on the YouTube channel for free, so no big deal. But if you want to go above and beyond, that's going to be the place to do it. So, as we see here, obviously he has Arwen, the one marquee character in the game, at level 57, 7 stars. So about $300, $400 right here. Max gear 8, 5,813 power, the most powerful character in his kit or in his roster. Obviously, probably pretty fully upgraded on materials. There's a red dot, so there probably is a couple of ability. Oh, I guess the red dot is just that he's not level 59 or whatever. He's got the pay-to-win champ, the Brute here, super strong. Éomer, a character who I believe very, very, very strongly in. And a lot of people are, not exactly as high as I am on him, but he's one of the best damage dealers in the game. He calls to assist. He's got great synergy. He's a good character. He has a summon, which is good in the current meta where the battles are so tight. So if you can get your opponent's like Gaz or your opponent's, Strider or Éomer to waste a big hit on the summon, you're going to come out on top. Also Max Gear, Strider, Max Gear, as well as Lady Éowyn. Just a standard comp with the leadership of Lady Éowyn and Strider doing some good damage, good burn, extra damage against debuffs, and, obviously an AoE, which is kind of the meta right now, gear AoEs. Halbarad, another pay-to-win champ himself. I can't see what the stars are. Let me actually go down here. Okay, wait, I have like a full picture of his entire roster somewhere. Let me see. His Halbarad is like 4 stars, I believe, something like that. Max Gear, same with Bolg. The two characters that are super hard to get right now, the Bolgs and the Halbarads, because you have to use your challenge tokens. One of the tokens. It's like 1,000 challenge tokens to get 2 shards of each of these guys, and of course he has them both at max gear level, which is pretty funny. And then the rest of his Isengard are pretty good. Tordok and Azhak. Azhak is like one of the most underrated characters in the game. He's on a pretty hard node to actually acquire, but he hits like an absolute maniac. Especially ignoring taunt and stuff like that. If you get an opponent that's weak and there's a taunt, he just ignores it, just one-shots him, absolutely knocks him out of the stratosphere. Nuraz at a comfortable gear 7 or so. I think that's gear 7. Yeah, Nuraz at a comfortable gear 7. So has the summon, has some defensive, has some healing capabilities, some taunting capabilities on the trolls. Pretty good. Elro here is ready to take up to 7 stars for Elrond, of course. Eothane, a character that a lot of people are actually really big on. It seems that the number one player in the game is not big on, and that's probably a byproduct of him having a couple of pay-to-win characters like Halbarad and Brute and stuff like that. But, definitely a character that you should... I farm his shards every day. If you guys are wondering what I do, I farm Éowyn shards, I farm Eothane shards, and then I, of course, farm... I call him Jack, but Lomian. I do a refresh of Lomian every day, so I'm farming two rounds of Lomian. And then I do EF2, I believe. And then that's kind of what I'm farming every day. So it looks like he did a little bit of that and then kind of gave up and kind of geared more towards elves once the Elrond announcement came out. So pretty smart there. He's got his hobbits. He bought the pack. I'm sure you guys can guess if there was something to buy, he probably bought it. So he's prepared for any Road to Rivendell kind of action that's coming on. And then it's other Ugluk and Dunhar. There's a big debate right now, especially in the official Discord. it was kind of a debate in the official Discord and then the Patreon Discord to kind of dismantle the debate. Ugluk, I don't think is going to stand the test of time, and I think most players kind of realize that Ugluk is maybe an okay character to get through the first couple of Shadow campaign, but we're definitely gearing in a place where we know what the light side transition is going to be, and we have to prepare for the dark side. So if you go too heavily invested into the dark side just to open up some nodes or whatever, I mean, you're going to miss out on preparing for the next dark side meta that you can probably, I mean, it's probably going to be a free-to-play accessible meta if you prepare now. And a lot of these games are literally, if you're a free-to-play player, as you guys all know, especially if you watch my videos, these games are all about preparing and grinding and hoarding for metas in the future so that you can catch the occasional meta and then be meta with the pay-to-win players for a little bit of time until the next meta comes out, and then you have to do the same thing over and over again. So it's nice to see that he's kind of understanding and appreciating that Ugluk is not exactly a huge investment. But I guess if you're spending money on everything in the game, there are better things in the game. Like you can get Azhak and Tordok and Bolg and the Brute and stuff like that. You can run like a Mordor team or whatever, and Ugluk is just not the move. One thing I didn't notice here, so I forgot to upload the original version that I did of this. So this is what his roster looked like about a week or so ago when I originally recorded the video and then never uploaded it. So I messaged him. I'm like, hey, what's changed? I want to see if if I can do an update to make sure that we're current, because now we have a marquee character and stuff like that. As you see here, he's got a Shagrat, and he has every character unlocked. It says 46 here because the Arwen, or not the Arwen, the Arwen event wasn't out yet. But one thing you'll notice, look down here, is right here, his Gaz Ironhide is 4 stars, level 1. The character that most people have the highest investment in, he has not touched. He has not even touched whatsoever, which I find absolutely hilarious. I think this is like the epitome of number one player versus the rest of us. He's got a 5700 brute to level 1 35 power Gaz Ironhide. I think that's just kind of like the beautiful little nail on the coffin for why we have to prepare for those metas in the future, because if we're chasing current metas, this guy is going to lap us for the rest of time. If you're in the Death Shard like I am, we're never going to beat this guy. We have to snipe him. I mean, he's a guild mate, so it's not like I don't like him or anything. Like, he's a good guy. But if we want to fucking get him, we got to snipe him out in the future. We got to prepare for our Nazgul, and we got to get him. Oh man, well, I appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this kind of stuff. If you guys want more of these, if you guys have there's a big player that you want me to review their roster, or you want your own roster reviewed, let me know. Obviously I will continue to kind of figure out in the focus group over on the Patreon Discord where the best place to put your free-to-play resources in. I'll have my 2 free-to-play accounts kind of testing that. I'll have you guys who are joining over there testing that. I'll have my main account that's going to spend not a ton of money. Like, I'm not going to get all the characters 7 stars and stuff like that. I'm going to spend as little as humanly possible to test out the teams, to figure out if, the free-to-play version of the pay-to-win teams is going to be something that you guys should aspire to, because you can grind these characters free-to-play over a much longer period of time. And since it does take a much longer period of time, you guys probably want to know, like, hey, when Elrond comes out at 5 stars, minimum gear unlock, it's like when he does come out, the second it's out, you want to be here to watch that. So I'll do a minimum gear unlock of Elrond and stuff like that. But also, you want to know, like, hey, if I get him at the free-to-play acceptable level of 5 stars, not 7 stars, gear 6, not gear 8, is he worth actually farming, or should I put my resources into my Rohan team and then just wait for, the next light side, dark side meta, or what should I do? So that kind of stuff is going to be solved. Thank you guys for watching. As always, I love you, and I'll see you later.